Neil, so like when you follow Chappelle, how much of Chappelle's show do you think was Neil Brennan?
We'll never know, but I think it was 60-40. I think Neil had the concept. He had like the bones, and Dave put the meat on it. Like Neil had like the initial premise, and then Dave just added his part on it.
Neil, Quentin Miller.
You will never know.
Yeah. But it's something to that collaborative effort, right? Yeah. Like, I don't, like, can you really poo-poo that? If you know it, if it's stated, like, I think, like, what Drake did, he was keeping Buddy in the shadows. Yeah. So then it's like, But if everybody knows, like, if you put it in the credits, like, written by both.
Right, that's why like Eddie Murphy, if you look at Raw, written by Robert Townsend, written by Keenan Ivory.
You go back and look at it, it's like 5 writers on that.
Paul
Mooney. Yeah.
And so it's like, he still had to perform it and deliver the joke. But they gave him the premise to the joke.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, people was like, man, Eddie should come back. Why did he take so long? When I first, it blew my mind. That Raw and Delirious, they go down. They're both in my top 5, right?
Right.
When I go back and look at it now with the eye of a pure stand-up, I'm like, I don't ever think Eddie was a pure stand-up. He was top-notch performer.
Yeah, he was
comedic actor.
He was like a rock star in comedy.
Yeah.
Like, you watch that and think like him today, like 90% of that would be cut out. Like, he could say 90% of the shit he was
That
saying
might be why he's staying low key, because if they start showing them old clips, he was throwing out some.
Yeah, I don't know how far cancel culture go back, but he was dropping some bombs.
Mike, you straight from the south side. Mike, I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.
Hey, we right back here. Another episode of the Real Rap Podcast, episode 36, with your boy Mike Knight and
Jay Davis.
Jay Davis, man. Look, so if you guys don't know, we're gonna get right back to the conversation, but because he hit on something I want to talk about. But real quick about Jay Davis, he is a producer, he is a director, he's a writer. Go check out his IMDb. We're talking about not another black movie, not another zombie movie. Jay Davis presents Creative Hustle with the hottest Chicago comics in the game. Season 1 is out, I believe. Season 2 is on the way. This dude is burning up the city. Go check out his. We're gonna put his socials at the end. Skits on a regular basis, funny as hell. Some wild stuff. I gotta talk to him about there was a lady in her early hundreds with her boobs out on this man's skate. You can see it right now on his page. But getting right back to what you was just talking about. So like with Eddie Murphy, like in particular, right? So he had his between Raw and Delirious, he was saying some stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Now these days, the political and social climate, you're not gonna get away with either with Raw or Delirious, and because I think it's I mean they have a term for it, right? It's like it's woke or whatever, right?
Right.
In your mind, for me personally, I think the definition of woke has probably changed from when it first came out to whatever it appears to be now. Do you have like something in your mind that you...
I think woke got gentrified.
As a matter of fact, when you say it like that, I think it was like a relay race. I think it started off not black, and then black folks took it, and then it got took by other people again.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
Like, is there a hardcore definition to what it is now? Because, all right, so what I think woke was, for me, woke was when it started off was like a short of, awoke. Like, hey, you're asleep on certain topics. All right, there is, police brutality to a certain level. There is like systemic like job exclusion, right? For women, for minority groups. There is certain opportunity. There's redlining in school districts, housing districts. There's this, that, and the et cetera, right? And you need to wake up to these issues and be aware, and then let's try and make strides to where now I'm like, wait, does it just mean, all right, this is too many of this. Ooh, we got to make it a little bit of this and that, or else it doesn't count anymore.
Like, everybody got to get their whatever they need out of it. Like, now, everything's in HD now, so we see the police brutality. It is no rumor anymore. We see that.
Yeah.
We see, like, racism in the NFL. Like, Colin Kaepernick proved like, hey, they colluded. They got me out of the league. So it's like now you can see things more.
Yeah. Do you and you're a writer, you're a producer, you're a director, right? Mm-hmm. So now I think woke is it's like a seasoning you have to use when you're making your meals these days. It feels like I mean you can go counterculture if you want to, and good luck to you, right?
Right.
But like, is that something you're consciously aware of?
Yeah, I want to deliver. I don't want to do any. Me and my partner Omar Moore. Shout out to Omar. He directed Creative Hustle. We try not to do any Sambo shit. Yeah. So to say, we try to insert a message in a lot of stuff we do, in a majority of the stuff. Sometimes, we have fun and just do something just off the cuff, but a lot of times it's a message on a underlying message with most of the sketches we do. But it's not like in your face, like, hey, you better do this or that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a fine line to walk, I think, right? Yeah. And like, I've checked out your works, of course, and I mean, even in your sketches, it's wildly diverse, right? Yeah. Now, is that a conscious thing, or is that just happen? I'll say this, right? Like, I just directed myself and Big Joe. We directed a really short. I don't even know if you can call it a short film, but it was like a scene. It got to be, and when it was all said and done, I reached out to people I knew to like be cast in it, right? Right. And I didn't notice until it was all said and done. These are just people I had personal relationships with. Joe had personal relationships. When it was all said and done, it was like Asian guy, like a Dominican, a Puerto Rican, Filipino chick, a couple Bulgarians from Europe and whatnot. Not one black person, not one pure white person. I was just like, oh shit, that was diverse as hell. But it never occurred to me. There was no part of me that was being woke. Right. I was just reaching out to people I knew at the time. They were available. They came through, did it. And I was like, all right, congratulations. Yay. It was men, women, Hispanic, all over the place. And I was like, oh, that was pretty dope. But it wasn't like a conscious effort on my part. Right.
Yeah, I work with different nationalities, races, gender. It's cool to have representation from different groups or whatever. Yeah. And to find out, like, if they find it funny, I'm like, yeah, it probably is funny. So I do, ever since I first started, I had like diversity in my sketches and movies and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Do you think woke is good? I'll tell you what, like, from my point of view, right? Anything that gets hashtagged, anything that gets quoted is automatically like the beginning of the end for it, right?
Oh yeah. When it become a hashtag on a T-shirt and shit like that.
Yeah.
When they start marketing it, like, this you lose the message at some point.
Exactly right. Like when the movement starts off, it's like drinking. Like when it starts off, it's fun, you're having a good time, popping bottles, you get a little buzz, and you saying the right things, you doing the right things, you playing pool, every shot drops, and then you have one drink over, and then it starts going downhill, and you wake up next to a Gila monster.
Yeah. You're like, why's my dick out? Who did this? Anybody? Like,
why am I upside down in a Suburban on the highway? Right. I don't even own a Suburban. Right.
Oh shit!
Something went very wrong here. But when it starts off with like me too, obviously, right. But then when you draw the line, when it gets hashtagged, now you got I'm for and I'm against. When it starts off, believe when it starts off, whatever it is, like the kneel or the disband the police or whatever. It's like when it starts off, I think the sentiment is pure. Right. The movement gets started, but then it's like, all right, hashtag. Right. Stay woke. Because right now, what I'm seeing trending is like, go woke, go broke. For real. And I think it came up. You've been following along with the Bud Light thing?
The Bud Light thing. Refresh me.
I think it's I think there's a TikToker, part of the LGBT community. Don't mess that up, right? Yeah. There's a lot of letters in there, man.
Right. Symbols and everything.
All due respect. And I think Dylan something or other is like a TikToker, trendy TikToker. I don't know if they do like makeup, hair, or whatever, but doing sales, man. My girl puts me onto it, and Bud Light ended up doing a campaign, sent Buddy some Bud Light cans with their face on it, right?
Right.
In all their glory, hair, makeup, the whole nine. And I don't even think it hit shelves.
Right.
Like it just went directly to Buddy, and they put it on there like TikTok. Hey, thank you, Bud Light for woo. Bud Light is a fraternity. We're getting drunk in college.
Right.
White boys with the collar popped up, playing badminton and hacky sack kind of drink. So I think, in a large part, they were like, "Bang."
Right.
So you got country music stars and whatnot going out there with AR-15 shooting like cases of Bud Light, like, fuck this. Yeah. And so they lost like their target audience, tanks.
Oh my God.
They're like, we boycotting this, right?
That's hilarious.
And then, what I'm hearing now is that so Bud Light, when they saw that happen, they was like, oh yeah, oh my bad, like
look, sorry.
we didn't mean to. Here's our next commercial, and it was like bald eagles and F-150s and America. and then their market, when they went to the other side, the other side, the LGB community was like, oh, so you just gonna swap sides like that?
Right.
We ain't buying it. And now they losing like Anheuser-Busch, I think, is a parent company.
Right.
And they're losing, like, people got savvy and was like, oh, it's not even just Bud Light.
Right.
We're saying no to like Coors. We're saying no to everything else that you guys own, Stella.
Right.
We're not doing none of that no more. And I seen a hashtag start trending, and I think it's primarily on, if you're talking politics, I think it's on the right. Mm-hmm. Where they're like, go woke, go broke.
That reminded me of Puffy when he said vote or die. That's some heavy shit.
Yeah, if you say something and it's trendy, and you hashtag it, it's going to pick up some steam.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
That's insane. So they lost their demographic trying to be woke.
Yeah. And then flip-flopped and lost the other demographic that they was going for in the first place.
Jesus.
You think that is that tone deaf? Is that pandering? Is that, all right, hey, we need to be more inclusive? Right. Is it like...
It's kind of pandering. Like, I'm finna appease this group, and then they get mad. Oh, let me try to appease this group again. It's kind of like, they don't know where to go at this point. Their marketing team is scrambling. So when you start messing with the bottom line, that's when it gets like in muddy waters and some evil shit happens.
That's kind of what scares me about the whole money game, right? Because obviously you want to be successful in your ventures. You would love to start seeing extra commas in your checks, directing with the big boys, working with top tier talent and all that stuff, myself included, right? And when you start making it, when is it too many dollars? Was Bud Light ever in a position where it's like, we made $7.6 gigagajillion last quarter, and this quarter we only made $6.9 gigagajillion. We have to do something. It's like, wait, like wasn't like, is your Learjet like running out of gas midair, bro?
Like,
too
much, right? I forgot what the situation was, but it was like the meme going around where like white dudes was like, I'm not wearing Nike anymore, but the Nike's white dudes wear are like the ones you get at like Ross or something like that. Yeah. And it's just like Nike's like, I forgot what the situation was, but they're like, we're not wearing Nikes anymore.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, fuck you. They're not for you.
Yeah. Is there any part of you that feels bad for like straight white guys?
It's gonna be a long time before I feel bad for them. Like, I know this is wrong to say, but when I see like a homeless white dude, I'm like, how bad did you fuck up? That you ain't got nobody? Like, nobody. I'm like, fuck that. I give money to homeless people, but not homeless white people. I don't know if that's racist or not, but I'm like, you can figure this out. You can figure this out, brother.
It's interesting to me because, I mean, for a part of me, dude, the part, like, if I put my mind in it, right, and I'm like, man, if I just woke up a straight white guy this morning, right, and there's no part of me that could be proud of it. Right. Out loud.
Right.
Like, behind closed doors, you can say whatever you want, right? Because it's a miss. And I don't know, like, there's a part of me that's like, man, that feels like it might be bogus, but then when you look at it, like if you're pulled over and the other guy looks like you, chances are you might, something good might happen for you. If you walk into a job interview, guy looks like you, chances are, it might be things might be tipped in your favor or whatnot. And I'm like, is that a balance? Because I think we're seeing in a lot of ways there's a pushback on that, right?
Right.
And it feels like the divide that's been going on lately. Especially since social media and these cell phones and everybody has a voice and an opinion and a dislike button, and how everything's fractured now. You know what I mean? Like when you take the old gangs or you take like the Black Panthers, when they take out the leader, when you take out any group,
it's over with.
And you take out the leader, like when they killed Pablo Escobar, you started all the Sicarios and all that other good stuff.
Fucking hippopotamuses was taking over.
Yeah, like when you had Saddam Hussein, he was doing some bogus, crazy stuff. You take them out, now you got Al Qaeda, now you got like ISIS and all that other, and they're really running reckless, bro.
Right.
And so it's like with like the movements that they have now. It feels like there's a frustration coming from the side of if you did wake up this morning, you're a straight white guy, and you're like, I can't even be proud to be myself.
You can't even say white pride.
Because that is a
it's like, hey. You can't even wear a bald head, even if you're going bald. People gonna think you're a skinhead.
Yeah. Because if you got it, then you could. Because we both got our hair, and if we went out there and was like, hey, hair pride, people would be like people that got a bald spot, be like, hey, what you talking about? Hey, you saw what happened to Chris Rock, right? Watch your mouth. Right. It can happen to you too, buddy.
Get slapped.
On camera in front of your mama.
Right. That wasn't even the worst. That's the thing. That wasn't the worst thing he could have said. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, no, of course, man. Like, so another thing that I've seen coming up lately, which is crazy, is internet is a drillion for a drillion. It does not lose, man. If I see another guy from the middle of New Zealand telling me that my favorite rapper that lives 5 blocks away from me might be a serial killer, who are these people that live on the other side of the planet that know more about Chicago?
Yeah. That is just what they see. That's like everybody. The funny, I remember Meek Mill's had posted something, and this motherfucker was in Bellwood. He was like, I'm in Chiraq, y'all. I'm like, you going to O'Hare? That's Manheim Road. You're not in Chiraq. But it's like, if people put that out there, people, Meek Mill was in Chiraq. He was in O Block.
Yeah. like, bro, you was in Madison. Like, I get it, but not really.
Right. It's just whatever people put out there. You go on vacation, you tell people from Chicago, they think you got it on you. So it's just the way, it's just people getting shot in Chicago. Everybody knows that. But the way the media portrays it, they think Illinois is Chicago. Everybody in Illinois. Yeah. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah. And it kind of turns real parts of the city into like an amusement park. Yeah. Like if you're really coming from out of town and you want to pop over to take a picture in front of Vaughn's like mural, good luck to you. Like,
I don't want to recommend it. There's so many other spots you go to.
I live 10 minutes away from it, and I'm not in a rush. Like I love Buddy music.
Yeah, like I can see that shit on Google Maps if I really wanted to. Like,
pictures. That is one of the more wilder things I catch myself doing. Like is. And I've said it on stage, and I'm probably not the only one, is like, I love certain cats from the city. From all sides. Right. Whatever gang. Like, I'll bump King Louie. I'll bump Duck. I'll bump some lesser known cats. I'll bump Vine. I'll bump Durkio and all the other good stuff. With my windows up.
Exactly.
And the volume at a respectable level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm out in Dubuque, Iowa, I'm letting it fly. Volume on 67, bro. I'm blowing out speakers. But in the city, like, I'm really living, like, there. You know what I mean?
Music, I find like music is one of them things that people take so serious. Like, Music is the only thing that can get women telling R. Kelly to pee on them. Like, people take music because it puts you in a place, whether it's a good place or a bad place that you've been there.
Yeah.
And certain songs make you think about that place.
Of course.
And so people take music serious. So you hear, you bumping Vine, some niggas don't like Vine. And they take that out on you.
Because he's literally talking about people
right.
that are still alive.
Exactly. So it's like, you know.
You pull up at the wrong stop sign, playing the wrong music on the wrong song. You literally could be offending somebody. I was pulling up one time, and I live on the low end. I pulled up one time to a red light, and I was bumping Pappy. And there was a dude across the street in the barber shop. And I saw him going crazy, like, oh, that's my shit. I was like, oh, I'm playing this too loud. Like, thankfully, he likes Buddy, but if it would have been the other way around.
You would hate to just wake up and have it, and it's like, I'm dead because I didn't like smooth jazz. Ain't that a bitch?
I wasn't playing Casio, and now my leg don't work.
Right. That's a horrible thing to get shot over.
How are these cats? How do you feel about somebody from another part of the world, whether it's England, whether it's this, that, or anywhere else, and they're, ultimately profiting off of the Chicago like drill scene or any other scene, like, because I'll go on these guys' pages and they're like, King Von was woo woo woo. Is Dirt cursed? This is what happened to K.I. And first and foremost, I'm like, bro, like you live 18 hours away by plane. How do you know? How do you know all this? But how do you feel about the people like this profiting off of?
Yeah, especially if you're not here. That's fucked up. If you're not from here, and they're just basically depending off Wikipedia pages and YouTube videos, and they. And especially now you got AI, you can type in, "Hey, what are your thoughts about King Von?" And that's it. So it's like it's all fake now. I don't trust anything unless I see you right in front of me, especially with this AI shit. So I saw somebody type in, "I want," and this is a true story. "I want of 16 bars about O Block in Chief Keef voice," and they literally did it in Chief Keef's cadence. I'm like, so you don't have to know shit about O Block.
Yeah.
If you got a computer.
Yeah. How do you, because I think that's that genie bottle that you ain't gonna put the genie back in now. Right. Like, how are you feeling about that?
It's scary because it's like they released something with no backup plan. Like, with no security functions. Like, I got a friend that works at a school, and somebody turned in a paper and was like, this student is a terrible writer. I know this for a fact. But this is like a A+ paper right here. Yeah. I put it through the plagiarizing app and nothing came back. What the fuck are we gonna do? So it's like, how can you police that?
Yeah.
and that's the thing. They put something out with no security function, like nothing that can stop it. So if people writing rap verses, now you're a rapper again. You finna see a bunch of 45-year-old rappers reviving their career.
Well, I saw two things. So a little while ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I think they put out like The Weeknd and Drake. Yes. But it was an AI song.
Yeah. And
I'm not a Drake hater. I can't play him by myself. He definitely got some joints, but I found out that if I play Drake for more than 17 minutes by myself, I just wake up in a bubble bath.
Right. You like, what? You got the big fupa.
Baby lotion. How the hell? But like, when I listened to it, I was like, all right, one, that definitely sounds like Drake and The Weeknd. Yeah. Two, it sounds like a hit. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Drake's attorneys was like going crazy with all these Drake verses coming out now. Yeah. So they should not have released this without any kind of like backup. It's like now the floodgates is open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at a certain point in time, right? Somebody like who's your boy? Einstein figured out that you could cut an atom in half and it blows up the entire universe.
You can do that, but you're gonna lose half the universe.
Yeah. And then like Robert Oppenheimer came by and remixed it, chopped it up like Coke, and next thing you know, we got a couple of bombs that we dropped on our fault. And and so that's another genie that's you're not putting it back in the bottle.
Right.
And it's a huge topic of discussion right now because the way the world is.
Yeah, it affects everything. All you bloggers, they don't run out of ideas now. So you're going to see a bunch of New Zealand people who will come up with new thoughts about King Von and O-Block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... so did you used to watch The Wire?
Yeah.
You remember that scene when Omar was in court with
About
the lawyer
the pen
and
the
the lawyer was like, he was like, how do you feel about profiting off of like, you know, the crime or whatnot in your city? He was like, I'm doing the same thing you doing, bro. He was like, I got the shotgun, you got the briefcase,
yep.
but it's all in the game or whatever.
Thing. I'm like, he was definitely profiting off crime. The
lawyer,
lawyer,
for sure. And you know what? So it's gonna be the first person that figures out really the ins and outs and everything you could do with this AI, and then it, like takes it off and running with it.
Yeah,
but
the person that figure out how to detect something's AI, that's the one that's gonna like save
facts.
everybody.
Yeah, to go the other way.
Yep.
But I mean, but is it a bad thing? It's a new pen, right?
It's a bad thing, especially now it's a writer's strike too.
They
can say, you know what, I can write this shit myself, me and my laptop.
Exactly. But that's even scarier because right now it's a writer. So, and I think it's a writer strike for like a lot of the late night stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But we're in the podcast, citizen media age now.
Right.
Like, remember once upon a time, the NHL did a strike, and everybody was like, and
right. I'm like, okay, I wasn't watching it anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. And they took a gigantic hit, and now I think like they show like NHL hockey games on like Oxygen Network or something like that, and nobody cares.
No, nah.
Like, are you telling me late night really thinks that they can survive a strike? Like, people are gonna be, oh, what happened to my Jimmy Kimmel?
Right, like they get over it.
Yeah,
get over it.
Like, Jimmy, if you ain't got a podcast, my boy,
it's the podcast, and there's too many shows on streaming now. So like, you'll find something to watch. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like before, a long time ago, when there's only like 6 channels. Like, you will find something to watch.
So AI writes a fire movie script. Not saying that they haven't already. Low key,
right?
You watch it and you're like, and it's like that Drake song. You're like, yo, this kind of slaps.
Right.
Are we discriminating against AI like it's a person?
The thing is, I just the way I got time, I feel like I was the last person to find out about the AI shit. And the way somebody told me, they sent me an article and they saying like AI scripts will be accepted for Oscar nominations.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck? And so it's like, that's the ultimate ghostwriter right there.
Yeah,
it's like that's not even a person. So I'm like, I'm definitely hating on the AI script.
So I read the book Steal Like an Artist. Brief summary, my brief summary, to save you all the pages or whatever, is steal from one person and that's plagiarism. Steal from 100 and that's artistry, right? And I think for the most part that's what AI is doing, right?
Right.
It's not plagiarizing. If you say right in the style of Stephen King, it's not taking like Tommy knockers and then rewriting it and throwing in a couple of different words. It's taking his entire library in a split second and going, all right, this is how his style is, this is his prose, this is where he puts his pens, his sentences, his commas, this is how he does his characters and spits it out. And it's pretty much a complete work. Because isn't that kind of what everybody else is doing?
It's I look at AI as like steroids in baseball. Like, Barry Bonds didn't need steroids. Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer without steroids. But it did fucking help him out a lot.
Sure did.
So, if you already talented, if Stephen King has writer's block, and he decides to go use an idea from AI, that's definitely giving him an advantage.
Yeah.
So, if you're talented, the AI, all that's going to do is give you like an extra boost. Like, you can't be completely oblivious to writing and come up with something immaculate. But if you have some kind of talent, like if you happen to write a writer's block about a joke and you like, I need 20 topics about old people, and it'll give you, you're like, oh shit, I can do that one.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely give you that boost that you need. So is that cheating? Steroids is illegal. So, you know.
I like where you're going with it. I'll give you one better. Like, for me, it's It's the black rhino pills at the gas station.
Yeah.
That's why I don't never use them, because I'm gonna be like, this feels incredible.
Right.
And now there's no turning back.
Right. You can't show up without the pill one day. Like Tuesday, you told me up. Thursday was cool, but it wasn't Tuesday.
Like if you show up like the Incredible Hulk with a toothache,
Right.
and then the next day you show up like Bruce Banner.
Right. She's like,
I don't know what's going on here.
You gonna know something wrong.
Yeah, because if you are already a high-powered rider and then you show up to that, and actually I think it's actually just a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're part of the old guard, if you're a James Cameron, if you're a Coen Brothers, if you're who's buddy that did like Kill Bill and all that,
Tarantino.
Yeah, who really take their pen
Right.
super serious, right?
Right.
Then you're probably gonna be like, ew,
Yeah.
never, yucky. If you're Tolkien, I wouldn't ever. That's disgusting.
Right.
If you're under J.J. Abrams like class, coming in behind that, if you grow up with this, if you're an 18-year-old aspiring writer right now, it's not even a question.
Right. Like this is for me.
This is what it is.
Right.
Old ass.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Get out of here. Well, the Terminator sucked. Hey, the first and the second one, nah. After that, you could. Hey, you wrote a movie about AI. Didn't use AI. You fucking idiot. Oh my God. So in our lifetime, we're gonna be seeing. Exactly that.
Yeah.
If not even it'll be like who's the guy that's conducting the band? It'll just be somebody doing this for an AI.
Yeah.
And then watching it.
All right, I want a movie about somebody who gets murdered and it's a twist at the end. And there you go.
And now you M.A.I. Shalaban.
Right. Make sure the ending is shitty. I want everybody to hate me.
Make sure we find out it was the daffodils.
That man made me so mad. This motherfucker drowned Bruce Willis in a puddle. I was like, fuck him.
In a
like
crack of water.
Right. I'm like, fuck that guy.
In a Dixie cup from the dentist's office.
Oh my God.
Well, taking it back to woke culture, right? There was your boy Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Rock star in the 80s, 90s. Couldn't go wrong. Like when and you put him next to. Before woke was a thing, he was rocking with Danny Glover, and I never took it for granted. Right. I was never like, oh, he's just with Danny Glover because he needed. I was like, oh, okay,
right.
Danny Glover, hey, Riggs. They just went together like peanut butter jelly.
Right.
Bring in Chris Rock, you bring in Danny DeVito, you bring in Jet Li, and it never felt like it was forced down my throat.
Right.
Then, rockstar director, he makes a Jesus Christ movie on his own. $1 billion. He makes Apocalypto in a dead language.
Right.
$1 billion. Fantastic movie. Says some things that could be considered controversial about the Jewish community at large. And they were like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then now, I think he's like sprinkling back into the thing.
In like obscurity. He'll be he'll be in an Expendables movie. He'll
just show up on like Between Two Ferns.
Right. He's not getting those lethal weapon checks. He's just getting what's left over in the budget.
Now that's egregious. And I actually think I think once upon a time, like he came out with some tapes, like recorded tapes with like his ex, and he was saying some wild stuff. But when you see it, like again, it doesn't feel contrived. Like he made movies with Mayans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like kill all Mayans. He made movies with black folks, Italians, Asian folks, and it didn't feel contrived. It didn't feel like he was pandering, none of that stuff. And then he talks about another, like, is there a way around? Do you throw away everything? So when you have like, I wasn't watching Seinfeld when it was out, but then I caught on to the reruns, 10, 12 years. Hilarious. Larry David, hilarious. With his pen, genius with his pen.
With Curb
Your Enthusiasm, genius with his pen. And then, Michael, what's his name? Michael, Michael Richards goes out there. Yeah. Wow, boy. And now I got to watch it. I'm on my block.
You don't watch it the same.
I'm on the low end. And every Sunday they play R. Kelly Like, and I'm like,
it's rough. See, the thing about R. Kelly and this rough about it, it's like he wanted to get caught. He talks about it. It's like Dan.
It was
like,
his muse.
Yeah, like come catch me. I'm finna fuck Aaliyah. Like he's literally putting it out there, and people loved it. I'm like, you know what? You can love what you like.
Were we are we held accountable too as an audience? Like, what's our accountability as an audience when there's things like that?
You have to know where your morals are at. Like, you have to know, like, all right, I do not like pedophilia at all, but you can't be like, but R. Kelly's
firmly
cool.
against it,
right?
Yeah.
But you can't be like, well, his music is cool. I'm like, yeah, and don't use no excuse. I hate when they try to play like which pedophile is better than others. Like, well, what about Elvis? What the fuck about Elvis? I never listened to an Elvis record. I'm like, what about you have to? So what? That doesn't negate the fact that this dude fucks 12-year-olds. Like, and if you want to listen to it, that's the choice that you're making. You're making a choice to listen to this man sing a song called "Seems Like You're Ready." What do you think he was talking about? Like, so if that's what you want in your head, that's on you. Hey, motherfuckers still eat the McRib. I don't know what the fuck's in that. So people make poor decisions all the time.
The Mick at the beginning of anything is like the word allegedly.
Right, allegedly. Chicken.
If they just changed the word from Mick to allegedly rib, people would look at it different.
Right, like, oh, okay.
Hey, this is the allegedly griddle. Right. So wait, is it a pancake? Right. Like, allegedly.
So people gonna make decisions, and it's just like, you're gonna get mad at this, but not that. It's like, hey man, he put it out there, so it blows my mind.
So I don't remember who owns right now DC Properties, right? But let's put. It is now Davis Knight Industries owns the DC universe and all their properties. Right. We just found out that our star for our upcoming movie, The Flash, was out there Mick touching boys.
This motherfucker went on a rampage. First, I knew something was wrong when they said he was in Vermont, like doing home invasions. I'm like, who the fuck? I know no one in Vermont. I don't know anyone who's ever went to Vermont.
I think Vermont needs to be voted into the United States every 3 years because it might not make it.
I'm like, you're in Vermont doing that shit? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And it's just like,
Vermont sounds like he fixes Oldsmobiles.
Right.
It's Vermont Jenkins.
They gave him a pass. They kind of downplayed it just because they spent so much money on the Flash. Meanwhile, Jonathan Majors has allegations, and they act like this motherfucker's career is over with. They're like treating it differently.
Yeah. So again, this is Davis Knight Industries. We just found out the star for mark you again. Our franchise kind of struggling. Right. Like we fumbled the ball and the bag on our top tier things, like, you know, Superman, Batman, this, that, and the third. Like we're looking and look next to Marvel, who's having their own issues. Like we are getting just pounded in the dirt. And then, all right, movie's ready to go. We got the final cut. Everything's in. We just spent, you know, $500 million on this, and we need to make $1.5 billion to even be able to consider it a success. Right. And wait, what? He was in Vermont doing Come Again? Right. All right. Hey, it's supposed to premiere in 3 months. What do we do?
It depends on what. That's when morality and corporate interests come. Like, hey, can we afford to do reshoots and recast this motherfucker?
The entire thing. And he's already a part of the entire universe.
Right. Can we just recast him? Or do I just say, fuck that, I'm finna get the money? Like, me as a person, I would try to do. They did reshoots before. They gave Zack Snyder money to make a whole new movie. So it's like, as me as a person, and I know this dude did something with children or did some wild shit. I'm like, I can't have him representing, because what if that's like the best movie DC put out in the last 10 years?
What if it's fire?
Exactly, because the trailers look amazing. So I'm like, this pedophile.
What if it's trapped in the closet 6 through 12?
Exactly. Is put out the responsible for the best DC movie. Like, I probably couldn't live with myself. I would,
because I think that might not be too far off from what it is. Is that it'll be two guys or a panel or you know, whoever, board of directors. You're gonna come with the morality clause, and I'm gonna be devil's advocate. Bottom line, hey, do you remember when we were in Maui last weekend?
Right,
just with our bonus checks,
right? That's done.
Hey, if you like that again, because let me remind you, we just spent 500 XY million, 300 on marketing. This is a tie-in to the other 2 movies we have in pre-production right now. And our star was in the last 3 movies. Being the same character. You said you wanted to. I'll reshoot you in your kneecaps right now. if you think. How about when's his court date?
Right. Let's see what happens.
It's August 27th. All right, we need to premiere this in June. 15th.
Exactly. It'll be streaming on August 24th. That's exactly what they did. They was like, he ain't been convicted yet. Cool. Let's go.
Let's hurry up and is that wrong?
That's absolutely wrong. But that's the way the business is.
That's the way.
That's the way the business is. It's fucked up. That's the decisions they make. They're like scrambling to see, should we get rid of black ass Jonathan Majors? Like that's what they're trying to decide. Yeah. They're waiting to see if any more women come out like, yeah, he beat my ass too. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, they're waiting for the pile on.
Yeah. So it don't stop with one. There's one that's like, well, he pushed me a little bit back in '98. So
yeah. And then wow, bro, because when you're looking at it like that, everything's tied in. Everything's a universe now.
Yeah.
Like everything is bigger than even AI Night Shyamalan. Like he made the whole he was like, I'm gonna do the Marvel fake, regular guy Marvel thing.
Yep.
And gotta make it a universe. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like if one of those characters fucks up, because all right, let's say morality wins with DC, scrap the whole thing.
Yeah.
So now it's another 2 years. They lose out on. You can call it even. I don't know for a fact, but let's say that they spent 500 mil on this.
Sure.
If they scrap it, they're actually losing not only that and the marketing dollars and the money that they would have made. So you're basically spending 500 million on a project and then scrapping it. You're out $2 billion.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
But let's say that they did that. Does the pat on the back and you did the right thing?
Nobody gives a fuck about that. That dude will be unemployed. He's out the door.
No. You might have bought like a couple of extra raffle tickets to heaven.
Yeah,
but
nobody's gonna like come to you like that. That was the guy that got Ezra Miller like kicked out. Yeah, buddy. Nobody gives a fuck about that guy. You don't even know that guy's name. That poor, you gonna see a small headline with this executive is out at DC. What the fuck is that? That was the guy who gave a fuck that Ezra Miller was fucking kids. That's who that was.
Yeah. Is it bad news? Headline: top of the news. First thing today.
And they're not even gonna tell you why. It was like he's just out. So.
It's interesting, like the news cycles now frightens me is that it comes so fast and it's so easily to believe. Cause you say it's like AI is scary, but I think it's already so much a part of everything that we just take it for granted. We don't even know. Like I was watching something like behind the scenes on Black Panther, and they was like it was stuff I thought was unnecessary. Like they made the sky and the grass was like AI. Like, it was just a scene when they were just out on the prairie and shit. And it was just hills and grass and clouds and blue sky. And it was like, there was all a couple of birds and shit. I was like, wait, y'all couldn't find
like some birds?
Just open field with birds flying by occasionally?
Well, I saw the worst movie I think came out last year was Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I don't know if you wasted your life watching that. And the whole movie.
And that first one low key.
They sent the whole movie. It looked like they filmed it like right here. It was like, it looked so weird. I'm like, why does this movie look like a cartoon? They filmed the entire movie in green screen, even like a cemetery thing. And they was in New Orleans. So I'm like, it's plenty of cemeteries in New Orleans. Why would y'all do that? So it was weird how they abuse it now.
Man, and so like, and now, my feed for all my socials, it's AI generated, right? if you get a random, if the finest woman you've ever seen in your entire life just all of a sudden messages you on your gram and DMs you like, hey, what's up with you? And it's a Brazilian 12 in a bikini. Guess what? It's AI or it's somebody that looks like me and Jay Davis.
Right.
Like, you know, so it's already so ingrained that I think like we're already dancing with that devil. And we don't even necessarily know it.
Right. I mean, I don't think AI is going to affect stand-up.
It can't.
It can't because it comes from like a pure place. Good stand-up comes from a pure place. And so I don't think it'll give you a topic, but that's about it.
You know what? I think I just rushed and put my foot in my mouth. Like you say that, but because they're doing AI images now.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's at the Atari level, it's at the Nintendo 64 level, but it's gonna just keep getting better. And so they can, you know, they're doing the images, they got your voice, and now, you know, they can read all your text, transcript from all your stand-up. Like, how far are we actually away from? Yeah, live performance. Live performance might be the last thing. Like when the robots take over and all that.
Right.
Live performance might be the last thing that you can actually count on until they start figuring out holograms or robots or whatever.
And people complaining at comedy clubs. Oh, he was talking about me. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was talking about a random person with a dead eye. You just happened to be there. like I hate that. People were like, oh, I had one lady, like, he was making fat jokes. I'm like, he's not talking about you. It was like, I hate that, man. Like, people are like, if you're sensitive, why do you come to comedy? What do you think you're going to hear at a comedy club?
Yeah. I mean, it's so bad now that, like, first off, when I get my first AI heckler, I need the Dragon Ball Z eyeglass so I can tell who I can shoot in the audience. But yeah, I mean, woke is a big part of the it's just the culture now. The anti for this, for that, because everybody gets to have their opinion for and against now. And then, if you come to comedy, whether it's good or bad, like, you're there to hear somebody's opinion, and chances are it's going to be a counter opinion to what's popular. Yeah. So for you to get in a big old like huff and puff about it,
I saw people. I'm walking out. I'm not listening. I'm like, the fuck what did you think you were gonna hear? That blows my mind every time.
Well, right when, I mean, one of the things, it actually broke my comedy heart was right when Trump was elected, right? And I went to a comedy club, and it was a younger audience. It was like a hipsterish part of town, and everybody in there, the demo was 22 to 31, right? And it was just one comic after, because you remember, right when Trump was elected, it was tempers were the degrees was all the way up. And we went to the comedy club, and I'm like, oh, finally, I can get out of the political, storm of everybody's opinion on this and everybody hating, and I can come just get it straight from a comic's mouth that's going to just be like, phooey to all this, and here's what's really going on, people. And I went in there, and it bled in. Like, pretty much everybody's set was, and he's stupid. And his hair is ugly.
He's a Cheeto and all that.
And it's like, oh no, what's happened here? Right. Like, I love comedy on its face as not as a comedian, but as somebody who loves comedy. Been watching it my entire life, and I love that it is opposed to what you're supposed to feel, what you're supposed to think, what popular culture is, and the best ones will make you think. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It makes you think outside, like the shit that it'll make you think like, what I thought, this is bullshit. Like, he's actually shining a light on some shit that I believed in, but like, it's actually bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, when Chris Rock can get on stage and be like, I ain't saying he should have killed her, but I understand. Right. Like, do you understand the artistry that goes behind saying, hey.
We're not supposed to say that. He said it for me. Yeah.
Like young lady losing her life while tragic.
But if it was me,
in context, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's and to make it funny, like, and look, the worst thing in the world is when you turn on Fox News and they're reading rap lyrics
Rap lyrics sounds terrible.
With the enthusiasm of broken glass.
Yeah. He said he's going to spray the block. And I'm like, this shit. Like, who told him to do this?
Because whatchamacallit, there was once upon a time where Kendrick Lamar, he did like the Grammys or whatever he did, and he did all right.
Yeah.
And after it, they were reading it on like one of those right wing things, and you know they did it with the people skills of a hornet's nest, and they were like, and we hate Popo, want to kill us in the streets, faux show, N-word, and it's like what
N-word,
yeah, and it's like wait, a minute.
Oh my god,
like I think comedy is the tent pole for context.
Yeah.
Because anything out of context, like sarcasm is my favorite chasm there is. I don't know a lot of other chasms.
Yeah.
But sarcasm, clearly my number one.
Right.
And that's how most people talk to each other. That's how you talk to your brother, your sister, your close friends, your spouse. Right. You know what I mean? Like your girl's going to call you big head. You're gonna call her bubble butt.
Your woman is the most disrespectful person in the house.
The most disrespectful.
She knows what buttons to push. Like,
yo,
if I wasn't afraid to get raped in jail, you be out. You be gone.
My girl is easily the most disrespectful person I'm gonna talk to today.
Yeah. And you know what's coming. That's the sad part. You know it's coming.
She'll throw in some I love yous. 98% of the rest of that is hate speech.
Like, I get it. I ain't shit. But we take it. Like,
and if anything ever went down and it was getting read back by a court reporter.
Right. Like, you going away forever. You say you hate his mother. And it's like...
But yeah, man, I don't know. It's scary, man. Like, so what are the best things and one of the comes to mind, best thing about directing, worst thing about directing? Because I mean, you're doing again full-blown movies. These are legitimate top tier actors you're working with, Chicago legends in comedy that you're working with. I mean, legitimate big level movie production. By the way, salute to you, because I love this movie is making fun of the genre movies, yeah. Right? Because I mean, you have Mel Brooks was doing it with like the Star
History
Wars,
of the World,
Spaceballs, History of the World. I mean, you had like Monty Python was doing it to a degree. Of course, the Wayans, notorious for doing that kind of stuff. But you're working on legitimate, like, upper tier directing and whatnot. What is your takeaways, good and bad, from working on productions of this size?
The good part about, like, I do mostly the producing. There's a lot that goes a lot into it, and then I do all the writing. But the good part is your vision. I can see my vision, and it's good. I've been privileged to work with like great directors, and it can bring my vision to life. Only bad thing is just like financial restraints. Like, you'll write something, you're like, this should be great with an explosion.
The moon is about to crash into the into the world.
Like, I can't make shit explode. But that's the good thing. Like, having your vision come to life is like you've seen it. Like the stuff you put down and someone executing what you wrote down.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's like sometimes you're surprised, like, damn, I wrote that? Shit,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, but the only bad thing is just like my vision exceeds my budget.
Yeah,
and that's the only bad thing. So, but like other than that, it's been a pretty cool road.
Jerks.
Yeah.
What is it like working with talented jerks? Would you take a 7? Wait, time. Would you take a 10 in talent and a 6 in attitude over the other way around? No, you know what? 6 might be too harsh because then it's forced out of your hand. Right. A 7 in attitude, 10 in talent versus a 10 in attitude, 7 in talent.
I'd rather take a 10 in attitude, 7 in talent. Because you on set with somebody a long fucking time. And you don't want to be around no dickhead. And then that start affecting their performance. That'd be the worst. Like, I had some people to show up to set, and I'm like, I really don't care what you went through Like I don't. I'm sorry. Like you work a regular job, you can't be an asshole to your boss. And but come here, do your job, and go. But if you like being difficult, that makes that brings the morale down of everybody. Like everybody, it's like, fuck, who's this motherfucker? Where do you find him at?
It does. It does.
So I'm fortunate to work with some really talented, light, good-hearted, fun people.
Yeah.
Like it's been rare that I work with like straight assholes. There's been a few.
Sure.
That like I've only in my whole life I've only had, knock on wood, like 3 reshoots. Like three times I had to like, this is not gonna work.
And that's not to say somebody having a bad day, because I think on the outside looking in, you look at like Hollywood movies, production and stuff. A lot of people who have no closeness to the biz think it's just actual magic.
Right.
And when you really boil it down, it's legit a job. You know what I mean?
It is.
And there's people put in positions, and it's a daily grind, and this, that, and the third. And people can have bad days at work. Just like if you're a McDonald's manager, if you're an accountant, if you're working in corporate America, whatever, people have bad days or whatever. But it's one of those people that just smells theyself a little too much, that really thinks they shit don't stink.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, you wouldn't be here with me. Like if you were that dope. Like, and that's not even shitting on myself, but I'm like, you need to humble yourself, because other people don't realize how many other people watch them from a distance. Like watch them like so they might not communicate with you, but they see some of the shit you post, some of your interactions with people, and it's like, I don't really want to deal with that. It's been plenty of people that I see like, I'm gonna wait a little bit long before I reach out to this person, because they got some shit going on.
Like, of course, right? Of course.
So it is what it is, and it's not just like, hey, I never work with them, but it's like, let them sort this shit out, because I don't want them bringing it on the set.
How much? So when you're in that process as a producer, and I mean, the producer's kind of an everyman. It's the Swiss Army knife. Of a production, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's the person putting the keys into place, managing the chessboard, and what have you. How much, if you were to break it down for an aspiring actor, an aspiring director, an aspiring writer, what's the pie chart of talent versus networking versus positive attitude versus showing up on time versus, like knowing your lines?
All of that is like equal. That's the crazy. Everything you said, it has to be equal. Like, it does me no. I don't care how talented you are. If we don't take 15 because you don't know your line, you ain't have the dedication to memorize the shit. After I done gave you the script a month ago, and we're on take 15, everybody else delivering, and you stuttering through your lines, we got a problem. It's like you have to cast people you trust. You have to put people around you on the production team that you know going to deliver. If I say, hey, we need these 3 props, come Saturday, if we're missing a prop, like what the fuck you gonna do? Order it on Amazon? It's like we need this. So you have to put people in position that you trust to do the job. So that's what's like, a great team goes a long way. I can never do shit. I tried in the very beginning to like just do everything I'm on. It didn't work. It got me to a certain point. Hard. But once I got a team, I have a great team now. It's just like, it makes my life so stress free. Yeah. What is it?
Travel alone, travel faster, travel with others, travel farther, or whatever, right?
Yeah. Shout out to my team: Toya, Alicia, Omar.
Shout out to the team.
Barbie, Jack. That's something I'm finna get in trouble. Felicia, all y'all, and my wife. Everybody does a great job of doing their job.
he just gave his preview for his Oscar award winning speech. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna leave somebody out. Right. Shout out to my aunt Nene them. I thought about this moment for so long. How do you give? And this is for me personally, because like I said, I'm dabbling a little bit more in behind the camera work. How are you giving constructive criticism, say bad news or direction that might be, hey, you're not giving me what I need? Because my go-to right now, which is the only tool I have in the bag, is, all right, cut. That was beautiful. Loved it. Let's do it again.
Sometimes it's like, I never want to embarrass somebody. If it comes down to a situation where it's like, all right, this is what I wrote and I'm not seeing it, I just like, hey, let me talk to you real quick. I go in the hallway and pull them to the side like, you're good, but just say this like this, or deliver this line like this, or just add something else at the end. But it's like I try not to embarrass people.
Yeah.
like because you be like, hey man, what the fuck did you read it? Did you read the
script? You're an actor. Act like you know how to act.
Because artists, we're sensitive about
absolutely,
shit.
Absolutely.
You'll never want somebody on set like, hey man, I wanted to tell you this part sucked. By the way, like, can I change this whole? Like, can I say this the way I want to say it? You're like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. So you like to go with the criticism sandwich. Something nice, bad thing, something nice.
Yeah, you can drop the bomb on them and then fuck your day up. So,
do you have a way of working around, like, say, again, like a talented asshole? Maybe there's somebody that you need. Maybe there's somebody, a manager, an agent, somebody that you are not able to maneuver around. They're necessary for the project, but you instantly know or figure out pretty early, I don't line up with this person. Like, we're not going to see eye to eye, but there's no way I can get around working with them.
Here's a story. Quick story. When we shot Not Another Black Movie, we were supposed to have J. Anthony Brown.
Okay.
He was supposed to be the preacher in the movie.
Wow. Okay.
I was talking with his people for months. It was cool. The person I was dealing with, I talked to him, but the person I was dealing with, she was an asshole. We got a flight booked. Cool. He's supposed to get there Saturday, shoot the scene Sunday. She's like, oh yeah, can we reshoot the scene? Can we reschedule it? Jay had a conflict. All right, cool. We rebooked. We still 2 months out.
Yeah.
Cool. We had, mind you, we had to rent a church. we had to get a church and fill a church with people. When it came down to it, the week of, she was like, oh yeah, Jay's gonna be coming from Alabama, so he's gonna need a connecting flight. You can't find no fucking connecting flight from Alabama to Chicago without a direct flight. I'm like, there's like, no, we can't do it. And we and her we was going back and forth. And she's like, well, reach out to Jay's travel guy, he'll do it. Reach out to him. He said the same thing. We can't find no fucking direct flight there.
Yeah.
And so, it just was Friday night, and she called me like, "Yeah, Jay won't be able to do it. His gig's gonna run over. Can we reschedule?" I'm like, "Bitch, we're shooting something." No. He was like, "Well, I have Don DC Curry." I'm like, "No, no." So I called Leon with 2 days notice, and Leon Rogers was great. Knew the lines without a problem. And improv. He did like a 20-minute sermon off the top of his head, and he filled in. But it was just like, luckily I knew Leon, but I'm like, this bitch put me in a position and didn't even care. Like, it didn't affect her at all. So So some people don't, like, no one's never gonna care about your project like you. You can have people with you, but nobody's gonna have the same passion behind it like you do.
Yeah, because everybody's just playing the lotto ticket game.
Yeah, like if it works, it works.
Yeah. And then when it catches fire, then everybody's like, hey, buddy, remember? Before I get you on the promote, because that's probably gonna take 20 minutes to promote everything you got going on. You're sitting there, you're shooting sketches. Now you shot hundreds of sketches. I've seen them. I've looked at them on my own. Just because, you know, I'm a supporter of the work that you do. Funny as hell, right?
Thank you.
You're on set. You're shooting your sketches. You have a mature lady, and you're like, hey, for this sketch, I need you to pull them tickle bitties out. How does that conversation go?
This happened. Shout out to Arlene. Arlene. She's in her early 100s. When we did auditions, and our lead showed up, and her resume was long to the motherfucker. I'm looking at the people. I'm like, this shit was in black and white. How the fuck old are you?
Gone with the what? Wait a minute.
Like, you an original Little Rascal? Fuck. It was a long, and then you know, she's like, I do improv, I do this and that. I'm like, cool. And she said, by the way, if you ever need someone to get nude, hey, I'll do that too. I'm like,
she just threw it out in conversation.
I'm like, I looked at everybody like, y'all hear this?
The whole time you were like, mental note.
Right. And so I wrote, like, that night, I wrote like the Three's Company thing.
Funny as hell, man. That's one of my favorites.
I love Arlene. She'll do whatever. And so when it came down to that, I sent the script. Hey, Arlene, how you, I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but it's a spot where you have to like have your tits out. Are you cool with that? Yeah, will it be a closed set? I'm like, well, closed enough. Like,
yeah. We're gonna close the door,
right? It's just not cool. I'm with it. I'm like, all right, cool. So it came down to it, and the funniest part is he had a clarinet. So that clarinet is like been passed down from my sister who had it in like the late 70s.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm like, hey, D, can I borrow your clarinet for a prop? I didn't tell her this old white lady's gonna have it between her titties. And she was like, yeah, cool, why not? And when she saw that goddamn clarinet at the premiere, she turned to look like, you motherfucker.
I used it after that.
So,
in my mind, Shorty's on set in between takes with her jubes out, smoking like the Cruella DeVille cigarette. Going, Jay, did I give you what you were looking for on that one? Try to be a little bit more bouncy.
And so Omar, he was just like shaking his head the whole time. Like, I gotta edit this shit. Meaning, I have to see these titties more than anybody. He knows. He gotta see this shit more than anybody.
Hey, man, it's tremendous though. But like I was saying, not only with the scripts, man, please give a rundown because we're gonna boost your socials right here. We're also gonna boost. I'm assuming you have a website for all your projects. You got your IMDb, you got your Tubi channel that's percolating right now. Please let the people know how they can find you, the projects you got going on, the projects you got coming up, the projects you already got in the can, man.
Jay Davis, Jay Davis TP on everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I'm on all of those.
Yeah.
My same thing with YouTube, Jay Davis, Jay Davis TP.
Don't forget the IMDb.
Oh,
man. You look like the dude that talks with a deep voice on every R&B song.
Right, the black and white.
Baby.
Yeah, on IMDb, all my stuff is listed there. Check out EDYH, the horror series we did. That's streaming on Tubi right now. And don't forget to check out Creative Hustle. Season 1 is streaming 6 uncensored episodes of some of the dopest Chicago comedians ever.
hell yeah, man. I was just watching it not too long ago. Shout out to Niche. She got a standing ovation on
Niche,
her. Niche murked, and I promise I've seen Niche. I can't tell you however many times, man. Like sometimes you see a comic, like comedy is kind of like a magician, and like, all right, I know how to make a rabbit disappear,
right?
But I'm like, did she really just make that rabbit disappear,
bro? Like, so I don't want to take credit for nothing.
Yeah.
But, so when Niche, I was like, Niche, you're gonna be featured when we was on the taping. Like before she went on, I'm like, Niche, you're gonna be like on the pilot, the first episode. So I ain't trying to scare you, but don't fuck up. Yeah. And she was like, what? And we told everybody 7 to 10 minutes. Niche would fucking ape shit.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say who. But somebody was hating and asking why her set was longer than everybody else. I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah, all right. I can't wait for these cameras to stop. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
But somebody was upset that Niece killed for 20 minutes.
But she was killing. Mark you, I can't take nothing away from her. I've seen her do that more times than not.
Right.
But I mean, but everybody else though, man. Shout out Smitty, shout out Erica, man. Shout out Leon Rogers, shout out Damon Williams.
Right.
Man, they were going crazy on it, man. It's a tremendous project, man.
Smitty opening line is so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love that about Smitty. Let me get through these pussy ass jokes.
I'm like, God damn.
So you really setting tones, man.
Right. Okay. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay. Don't take it for granted though. I've seen Smitty hey, don't rock with don't fuck with Smitty like that, man. He's 6'13". He will ruin your day if you come at him sideways. Right. I've seen it.
Don't stand up. Don't make a scene.
Yeah,
just sit there.
Don't heckle him. AI or not.
Right.
He will
enjoy the show.
So you got that going on, man. Any other projects that these folks can look out for?
We're in the middle of shooting a horror anthology, me and Omar. Called I don't know if we're supposed to release the title, but it's a horror anthology. Short episodes, gonna make like a season or whatever. We're a quarter of a way through that. And we're going to start. We're in pre-production of season 2 of Creative Hustle. Okay. We're doing a showcase, which you are a part of.
Whoa!
That I'm very grateful for.
Absolutely, sir, and I do truly appreciate it. Man.
So we're doing that June 24th at Riddles. There's going to be some dope young comics that's going to hopefully they bring their A game to be on the show. There's a lot of people. not gonna talk to me no more.
Like, some big ass shoes to fill. Yeah. Everybody's
not gonna make it. But it's just like the people who's gonna be on there is actually we're gonna use that to be on the show. So you're gonna make it without making it. So to speak. So I'm looking forward to that, just to see some of these young comics do their thing. A lot of them have been rocking out, and I watch everything. Like I may not talk to everybody, but I see everything. So if your ass crazy, I know it already.
Well, that's another thing that I really appreciate about you, because we were together on another group out west, and I mean, you would show up. Yeah, you was doing your sketches, but there's a lot of people that I know, they would show up. All right, here's my product. Put my product out there. Deuces. And plus, we was on the corner of, are you sure? And you might want to leave. Out west. I ain't even an out west dude. Like, you know what I mean?
West.
I mean, for real.
Medicine and whatever is not good anyway.
If you in Chicago and you on a street called Chicago, if the street is Chicago and somebody's first name,
Chicago and Jackson,
Chicago and Laramie, but but you would hang out and still rock out with everybody and be a part of that, man. Like, you're a real student of this. In front, behind, doing, and I truly appreciate it, man. I truly appreciate you being here on the thing, man. Make sure you guys check out Jay Davis. He's multi-talented, man. He's one of the true gems in Chicago, man, that's holding it up and giving a lot of people opportunities, creating his own opportunities, man. You can study this man and learn a thing or two, man. I am Mike Knight Comedy on all the things. Shout out Big Joe, man. If y'all only knew what he was up to last weekend, boy, I tell you what, man, what goes on behind these cameras. Hey, but it's been a Real Rap Podcast. Love, we out. Peace.
Peace.
Mike, you straight from the south side. Mike, I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.